Good evening, everybody. I know. Yeah, that's right. How are you guys? Hi, ladies. How are you guys? Good. You guys read my mind. I was going to ask for an agenda. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. 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 Right, okay, good. So then, yeah, it looks like we will have a quorum. Elijah, how's it going? Good. How have you been? Good. You been up to that? Busy? Good stuff? That's nice. Just keep up. That's the thing. Yeah, just the consistency. Yeah. Chairman, do you have a quorum? Hi. Okay, good. How are you? Really? You did, huh? So, wow. So just cut it off. Yeah, and then Manny's online? Both of them are now. Okay, good, perfect, okay. Okay, what time is it? Let me see, okay, let's wait a couple minutes and then if anything we could, yeah, just so we could get. Okay, in fact, Nanette just texted me. She's on her way. I just responded to you. Sorry. Yeah, how are you? No, that's fine. That's fine. So I know it's always like rushing here to there and everything. So no, I get it. That's why I'm too. Sometimes I even try to leave like a couple minutes early because it makes a difference. Like,
It does make a difference.
yeah, it really does. But
Well, I've had back-to-back meetings yesterday and today, and that went on till just now. And it's like, I got crap.
you just jump from one to another. And I'm sure sometimes when you're walking out the door, somebody stops you. Oh, real quick. Listen.
Right.
So,
Oh, I had left you one. Did they take yours? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I did. Are we ready?
I think we're ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Just let me know when you're set.
We're good.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this Finance Committee meeting to order. The time is 6:02, Tuesday, October 17th. With that stated, Emma, can you please do a roll call?
Chairman Dennis Tim Salazar,
Present.
Counselor Nanette Rodriguez,
Present?
Counselor Manuel Martinez,
Present.
Counselor Justin Salazar Torres.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. Next item on the agenda, if everybody's had the opportunity to review the agenda, is approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, motion, I think, has been made by Counselor Justin Salazar Torres, seconded by Counselor Manny Martinez. Emma, if you could please call roll.
Chairman Dennis Tim Salazar,
For the motion.
Counselor Nanette Rodriguez,
For the motion?
Counselor Manny Martinez,
For the motion.
Counselor Justin Salazar Torres.
In favor of the motion.
Motion carries.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. Next item is going to be the introduction of new finance chairman and committee members. In fact, of course, as everybody knows, this is our very first meeting. So as of last week, of course, I'm the new chair of the finance committee. We have Counselor Nanette Rodriguez with us, and also online is Counselor Manny Martinez and Counselor Justin Salazar Torres. So welcome, counselors, and look forward to all of us working together on the Finance Committee. And a little bit down the road, we're going to have committee member comments. Also, I would like to introduce our new finance director, which started on Monday, which was yesterday, actually. So everybody meet April Moya. She just started yesterday, as mentioned. Welcome aboard, April, and we look forward to working with you. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
also, would like to introduce as well the executive administrative assistant to the city manager and to the mayor, Esperanza Sandoval. She's here as well, so welcome, Esperanza. We're happy to have you aboard as well. Thank you. Right now, are there any public comments? Anybody from the public that has any comments for the finance committee?
Step aside.
Okay, okay, sure, go ahead. Bethany, go ahead and come up to the front. State your name and then just, of course, your order of business.
Good evening, everybody. Bethany Brantley. I just had a few things. I actually have been sending out a few texts to some council members trying to get answers to a question. As you know, I am still on the move for a second ACO, and no matter what it takes, a year and over a year later, I'm still going. And I'm working on trying to come up with ideas for you guys to help you offset your cost of an ACO. And without the answers that I'm asking for from the mayor, from Peggy Sue, I actually got a response from Nanette last night saying that she was gonna work on getting me the answers that I needed. I can't help you. And I'm not against the city. I'm really trying to help the city succeed, because I don't know about anybody else, but I sure as hell didn't move from Chicago, Illinois here to watch the city fail, and to watch the shelter, fail. So the things that I'm trying to get taken care of is to help this city, which is especially a second ACO on the weekends, to help me out, because I'm tired of getting phone calls to pick up a deceased animal on the road, and I don't want to have to wait until Monday, and leave that animal on the street. Things like that, and helping people, with the stray that's in their yard or things like that. So trying to get a second ACO will actually be a big help to the city, and trying to get my answers as far as, breeding, license, things like that, getting costs for you is a way of me trying to help maybe present with the shelter. I don't work for the shelter, I do not speak for the shelter, but, I work certain things with the shelter, and we've been talking about certain ways to help you guys, the city as a whole, to offset costs for you. And that will help not just the city, but it will help the shelter with issues. So these are my goals. I'm not here to fight you, so you are always welcome to give me a call or message me about the ideas that we've actually been working on to help you guys get some money, to help you get a second ACO to help us.
Good, thank you for that. Thank you for, reaching out to some counselors, and possibly we could set something up with the city manager and you, if you would be fine with that, and then possibly looking at, some ideas. You're good with that, Mr. Lujan?
Mr. Chairman, actually, I can already address that, the two concerns that Bethany just brought up, and I did inform her after this happened. I met with her. Our chief of police, and I believe he's online. He has decommissioned an officer. This officer will now become our second animal control officer, as well as / public safety. So this gentleman can write some incredible police reports as it related to traffic. And so the chief's ideal is to bring him back, and I've already approved this, so he can become our second animal control officer and / public safety.
Serving in that dual role.
Yes, sir, that's already been, I believe that's been done. I think Sally, if you can address that, or Chief's online as well, Mr. Chairman. But he is, Sally being the HR director, she handled this with Chief, but I approved it and gave him the green light to go ahead and do this. Allow us to have a second animal control officer.
Thank you, Mr. Lujan. Ms. Baxter, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, we're actually in the midst of doing paperwork on that to get that transition done.
Very good. Thank you. That's very great to hear. So,
And then to address the second issue that Bethany brought up, we're working diligently right now with the Mayor Pro Tem and Councilor Benavides on the ordinance that the Mayor Pro Tem has been working on for quite a while now. And she's ready to get the last chapter of it done so we can bring it before the committees and then to the council to approve a new ordinance.
very good. Thank you, Mr. Lujan. Thank you, Ms. Bradley. Okay, and then just any outstanding or additional things, possibly, could maybe put you both in contact as well, just to kind of, finalize things. Thank you. Are there any other public comments at this time? Okay, hearing none, let's go to the next item, which is the committee member comments. Anybody from the Finance Committee that would like to make any comments at this time? Councilor Manny Martinez, Councilor Justin Salazar-Torres, Councilor Nanette Rodriguez?
We'll let ladies go first.
Okay, yes, definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilor Rodriguez, you're first, ma'am.
So I first want to say thank you, Bethany, for the things that you said during your public comment and for your incredible passion for the animals of our community. And I will get you the information that you asked for. And I just want you to know that I am committed to working with you to make a difference in our community. So thank you for that. And I just want to say that I'm incredibly elated to be having this Finance Committee meeting. It's well overdue. I'd like to personally welcome April Moya. Glad to have you here at the helm. And I would also like to welcome Esperanza. Welcome, Esperanza. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Martinez or Councilor Salazar-Torres?
Thank you, Chair. I do appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. I look forward to working together with this committee. We got a lot of work ahead of us, so let's get down to business. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Manny Martinez, do you have anything?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, welcome all the new hires and welcome all of you that are here. I look forward to working with you on this committee and seeing if we can make sure we can find money for the projects that we have in place and make sure that we keep them going and keep them moving. So I do look forward to working with all of you. Also, Ms. Bethany, thank you for all the hard work that you do. Your diligence has paid off. I'm so glad to see that we are getting a second animal control officer to help out there. I know this is something that's very well needed. I'm an animal person myself. Have a wonderful cat and a dog, a turtle, some fish. So I know what it's like to have some animals that you love, and I just hope that there are people out there that will consider adopting so that it doesn't overwhelm our animal shelter with a lot of these pets. But again, congratulations, Mr. Chair, on your position. And again, I look forward to working with you and our fellow councilors on this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I look forward to working with you all as well, and I think we have a lot of good work ahead of us, so absolutely. Thank you all. Okay, so right now I'm going to be turning this over to our city manager, Eric Lujan, just for, of course, for some comments, updates regarding the Finance Committee, and then moving forward. So our CM, City Manager Lujan, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the chairman and I have met on several occasions since he's been appointed to this position to go over the game plan for the finances in the future of the budgets and, of course, the audits. And Mr. Chairman, as I discussed with you, and I'll inform the rest of the committee, we had a long, extensive interview with Ms. Moya. It was myself, our Chief of Police, Garcia, Mr. Robert Apolaca from the former Director of Local Government for DFA, who is now also our projects manager for the City of Española on contract through DFA. Sat in on the interviews. It was a long process. Her credentials were incredible. Through a migraine, she sustained the questioning, and of course, it was hard not to say that we could not hire her and steal her from DFA. Her knowledge there, she's already hit the ground running, Mr. Chairman, councilors. She's well worth the wait to getting someone that's qualified for this position and that's going to be loyal and dedicated to the citizens of Espanola, and that they know that what we got is not only a woman is from their community, right, from Chimayo. Well, I used to live there in Prince Ranch, right? So, now she resides in Chimayo. So we got a local girl. You remember when she was little, right, Councilor Rodriguez? You taught her how to swim right next door. So, I'm proud of her and glad you accepted the position. You got a lot ahead of you, and I'm glad you've hit the ground running. And she's already been meeting with directors. She's done an incredible job. I know I keep stealing her to take her to meetings, so she understands a lot what's going on, because everything involves finances. And as the Mayor Pro Tem told me today, the numbers don't lie, Mr. Lujan. So I have with me tonight some of my directors. Some are on Zoom. Our fire chiefs, Chief Martinez, Chief Wick, as I call him, Wicksham, my HR director, Sally Baxter, Elijah, my superintendent, and I think Bryce Abeta's on. Chief Garcia's on. I'm not sure who else, Emma. Jeremy Smith's on Zoom. So my directors are here. I don't know where Rebecca is, or I didn't make it mandatory. But I am glad that they are here, because as I strongly indicated and committed to DFA, the Director Billingsley, that we're going to take this process the way it's supposed to be handled, right? It's going to be her meeting with the directors, starting to meet the budget concerns, starting to meet the budget constraints, and putting together a good, solid budget for each department. Then her and the department heads, my directors, come before this committee to start the process of vetting it. So that committee is in the loop at all times, knowing exactly what's going on with the money and the monies and the budget process. From there, of course, we're going to start having study sessions with the entire council. And of course, going into the Board of Finance, which is the mayor and the entire council. So everybody's abreast of everything that's going on and in the loop. It goes from audits to budget to anything that has to do with the money and anything that we're struggling with right now before taking both these positions, and assuring that the community that we're protecting their monies, the monies are well budgeted, we're taking care of our employees because they are the backbone of this community, and that we Mr. Chairman and councilors, it's no big secret who we have to compete with. We have to compete with Santa Fe County. We have to compete with Rio Arriba. We have to compete with Los Alamos, not just the county, but the labs. We have to compete with the neighboring pueblos that surround us, right? That have budgets that can pay better. But yet, we have great people that are dedicated to our community that we need to invest in. I start today a month since I've been on the helm. And we have some incredible people that stand to be recognized before the entire governing body, starting with Chief Garcia, our fire chiefs, Elijah, Bryce, God, I could keep going on and on and on, that are dedicated to our community. And it makes my job easier. It makes your jobs easier as your constituents call to complain, that call with concerns, that we've got people in place that can solve them. And they have this community at heart. And as I addressed them in my first directors meeting on a Monday morning, I said, look, Some of you live in this community. You're raising families in this community. You're vested in this community. Be proud of it. Take pride in it. And I've seen that pride start shining through, and it's great. It's great. Can we do better? Yes, of course, Mr. Chairman, councilors, we can always do better. But it starts right here at the Finance Committee, and welcome back. It's been over a year and a half since this committee met. So welcome back, and Mr. Chairman, in the meetings that I've had with you previous till tonight, you know, I've indicated to you that this committee's got to start rolling, and the dedication that it's going to take to run this maybe 2 meetings a month, to help her get off the ground and established, so that way you're informed, your constituents are informed, and the governing body's informed, the mayor and the governing body. And with that, Mr. Chairman, councilors, I stand for questioning.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Lujan. Does anybody from the council have, or the committee, I'm sorry, have any questions for Mr. Lujan at this time? Okay, I don't think there's anything right now, but we may come back to you. Yeah. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I would be remiss if I didn't recognize that Emma is here. And we really need to appreciate her because she's been here every single night for every committee meeting that we have. So thank you, Emma.
Absolutely. Thank
2 nights in a row.
Ever since Emma's been at the city, I've always seen her go above and beyond. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Emma. Thank you for that. Thank you, City Manager Lujan. So the next item is matters from the chair. I just have a couple of things. Just like Mr. Lujan did mention, with this committee, I'm really hoping that, you know, we can work closely with, of course, our city manager, with our new finance director, Ms. Moya, and, you know, with staff, and then, of course, the governing body as a whole. As we all know, we have a lot of work to do regarding the budgets, regarding audits, ensuring accountability, ensuring that we all are informed of what's going on every step of the way. I think that's very important for all of us to know, and then, of course, for our staff to be aware and how we could be able to move forward, and in turn, this does help the city as a whole. And with this, through the committee level, through our city manager, through our director of finance, then we also have our directors of the city, our staff, and then, of course, this goes to our citizens to be able to help to better our city, and, of course, accountability. I think it's plain and simple, accountability, and having that information, the correct information, to be able to make, you know, the proper decisions. We have a great leadership staff. You know, we've had a great leadership staff for quite a while with our directors and our employees, just like Mr. Lujan said. And just, you know, with that stated, want to thank all the directors for being here tonight as well. Of course, to be able to listen in and then to be available for questions or comments as well. That's about all I do have right now. I would like to turn the floor over to Ms. April Moya for the Finance Director comments, and just anything that you may like to add, Ms. Moya, and then, of course, for your first meeting as a Finance Director on your second day of work.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So thank you for welcoming me to the City of Espanola. I'm very excited to be on board with the rest of the team and to be able to come in and try to help make the finances better and just do good for the community, because the people deserve it, and they need to be able to have trust in their city and how the money's being used. So I just wanted to start off with just giving a quick update on what is going on right now, what I've done the last, I shouldn't say, well, I guess I have gone through a full 2 days, huh? I was gonna say day and a half, but that was earlier. I already lost track of time. So I'm pretty excited. It's been interesting for me because I've worked for Department of Finance, so I've been at the state level for so long. So I'm usually overseeing counties and municipalities, and now I'm in the other side of the spectrum. So it's been a little bit interesting, and I'm just trying to get on par with everything. But as of right now, I have a plan. It's pretty vague because, again, I've only been here a couple of days, so I'm just feeling it out, seeing what's going on. I have an idea of what's happening, but I have a basic plan that I'd like to share with everybody and give an update on where we're at with things. So First thing that I'd like to give an update on is the audits. So the FY '22 audit is almost done. At this point, we just have the financial statements that need to be reviewed, and they've been partially reviewed by Joyce Sandoval, and I'm going to work with her a little bit more this week to finish reviewing those. And then after that, we have a few areas that we need to fill in information to accept that audit, and give them two items, which is the JPAs, the Joint Power Agreements, and State Appropriation Schedule. And once that is done, then a management rep letter will be done, and then the audit will be complete. So I'm hoping within the next week or so, we can get that done. Again, I have to talk a little bit more with Joyce. I met with her for the first time today, this afternoon, so we were working on a multitude of things, so that was just one of them. The FY '23 audit, I have an update on that, which is due now December 15th. We are not going to meet that deadline. Let me find my notes for that, I'm sorry. I should know it off the top of my head. I've been dealing with it all day. Basically, right now with the FY '23 audit, we are trying to go into contract with the auditor, but we need to get approval from the state for that auditor, and there is some information that I'm trying to obtain. There's some uncertainty as to what happened to the approval from the council that approved for the new contract for the auditor. I have not been able to locate that. I've been trying to locate that all day long, and I haven't been able to find that. So if I am able to locate that, I will be able to log on and create a new account with OSA and upload that. Once that's done, I'll send that over to the contractor. They can't start any work or even accept the audit until that's done. So there's 2 steps for that. And then, of course, we have to close out the books. And that's the next plan, getting that, figuring out what is the most efficient way to get that done. So I don't have a time frame on that, but we may have to work backwards if I can't locate that paperwork and get signatures again, and then have to get the approval through the state for the auditor, and then upload the final approval for that. So I don't have a time frame right now. I hope to be able to give that to you sooner, but it is going to take some time to get that audit through. I requested through the mayor that we create an audit committee to help with the audit, and he already knows about that, so I'm hoping that we can get that done.
Looking at the committee, what type of individuals are you looking at for the committee? Is it directors, council, like?
It would be nice to have a mix. I mean, I don't think anybody specific, just anybody that's willing to help, that's maybe has some type of financial background, some, so people that have an outside approach to it rather than an internal approach to it. So not any major, I don't think I have any, do you have any major?
Well, if I may, Mr. Chairman, councilors, would have to be created through ordinance. And it would be a mix of citizens, Espanola, maybe some, we have a great economic development committee of business owners, a couple of business owners, former councilors. So people that have a financial stake in our community, right, would be business owners, community leaders, but it'd also be made up of councilors as well, Mr. Chairman. I believe that's how the mayor would like this to be written up, and I'd have to sit down with the city attorney, but the request came from Ms. Moya to take care of the situation. And obviously we'd have to gather thoughts and get this approved by the governing body. So, but it would help alleviate a lot. And my recommendation to the mayor would be that we appoint members of the finance committee, because it's a dual deal, right? Finances and audits, it all one scope of work.
I do have a quick question in reference to the paperwork that you were looking for, Ms. Moya, for the auditor.
Yes.
I'm sure you probably wouldn't know, but either City Manager Lujan or maybe Ms. Baxter. Also, Ms. Baxter, chime in on anything as well, because I know you've been our city manager for the past few months as well. But do you know if the Office of the State Auditor would have a copy of that, the signed paperwork?
I don't believe that they do. I could inquire on that, but I don't think they do, because when I spoke with I spoke with the auditor already today. That's how I found out a lot of the things. I reached out to him and got a little brief on both of the audits, and he's the one that told me these are the things that are pending. And so if it was already approved through them, they might have done the initial approval. The state might have done the initial approval for the contract, but if the contract was uploaded, they would have already been able to accept the contract. So I'll dig into it a little bit deeper tomorrow and see if I can find out some more information and find out if anything went there. But I did talk with everybody that may have been involved. I was told that it was signed. It's just, we just haven't been able to locate it. And I think if I find it, then the process go that much faster. But if I can't find it, we're gonna have to work backwards.
Also, the date of the FY '23 audit that's due December 15th.
Correct.
I'm just curious, like, we don't meet the date, what kind of ramifications are there, or could there be?
And the other thing is that we can't, the new contract can't even send anything out to the state. I failed to mention that we're going to be late on the audit, which the state doesn't even know we're gonna be late on the audit. So they need to know that ahead of time, because they can't reach out to them and I can't reach out to them. It has to come from the auditor in order to, for them to, mark it that it's gonna be late until they have that contract. So that's another reason that it's really important to get this done sooner than later. And then, of course, it's gonna take them about 3 weeks for them to even start going through anything. And I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, what was your
So
question?
that'd just be like their official documentation from them to the state auditor's office.
The ramifications of that are the state will probably come over and take over really quickly. And I think it's already been communicated.
If you could please keep us updated regarding the paperwork, and there's.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of my main priorities, is to get on that, and so that's why I made contact with the auditor today to see. And I had already met with Ms. Sally Baxter on any updates that she had for me, and she wasn't able to locate the paperwork either. So I think I've already crossed all the paths as far as who may have had it. I have one more person to check with, so fingers crossed for tomorrow. Prayers, all that.
Very good.
So that's the update on the audit. The other thing is I just wanted to give a quick update just on my plan. Again, I have been very busy the last day and a half. I actually started working prior to even starting on Monday. I started thinking about things. I was brainstorming ideas, but again, not really knowing what I was walking into. I don't have any benchmarks at the moment or a roadmap, but I do have an idea of what I'd like to do, and I already tried to start that in the past day and a half, except for that Eric's been pulling me back and forth, so it's been tough, but it's been good. It's exciting. I'm excited to be on board, but I just addressed that I already met with the current auditor to discuss the FY22 and the FY23 audit. I just discussed the pending issues for 22 and 23. I've been working with Joyce to get caught up on what's going on, what's been happening, where she's left off, what pending issues are, where she's going to continue working on while I pick up the other duties. So that's been great. She was great today to meet with. She helped me with a lot of things, a lot of questions that I had. I was writing questions for the past day and a half. As our city manager mentioned, I've met with several directors so far, very brief meetings, but got some information from there, was able to ask questions, look at their budgets. So a lot of questions arose from that, so I was able to get some questions answered. I plan on working on filling positions fairly quickly, if at all possible, for the comptroller and the financial specialist. That's another one of my priorities. When these next 30 days, that's my goal, is to get moving forward, close that 22 out, get the 23 moving, get our auditor in here, train with Joyce as much as possible, get these positions filled. And I'd like to review the existing financials. What I am trying to do right now is just trying to focus on understanding the current financial workflows comprehensively and identify any new flags that need urgent attention. So there's a few things that have already come to my attention, obviously from the audits and just things I've already found on my own. This would include reviewing the current financial stack to budgeting and overseeing the compliance, the accounts receivable, the accounts payable, and the payroll procedures. That's something I've already done as well. I've met with all of my staff, plan on meeting with them again tomorrow to do some. The intention is to do desktop audits and evaluate all of their process and procedures and verify what kind of internal controls are in place, because I believe that may be or possibly is an audit find. If my finance team struggles with forecasting data from any sources, that fixing it will be one of my top priorities. Accurate forecasts from the backbone of realistic plans will help dictate our future expenses, our investments, and our funding, so that's another priority for me. I want to make sure that my team and myself and the team that I bring on board are going to have the correct numbers that we have, so that we have a reliable financial plan and we're able to project directly and go forward with the city's growth. I want to look at if we have any revenue leakages, any cash flow discrepancies, of all our tax laws and our compliance regulations are being met, and if there's any financial risk to the city, specifically to audits, which we already know, if there's any further ones, and we can be prepared for 24, because the whole purpose of the audits are to learn from our mistakes and correct them. So it's not putting them under a table and forgetting about them. It's about their red flags. Let's address them and let's fix them for the future so that we don't come across those audit fines again. So again, my first 30 days is going to be a lot of observing and listening, and obviously a couple of other big action plans. But you know, coming into a position where we have a lack of staff and some potential issues is going to be it's going to be a big challenge, but I'm excited for it. And I've told City Manager, Mr. Eric, that I am excited about it. I love a challenge. I'm excited to work with my staff. I'm excited to get people on board and just hit the ground running. And as he said, I've already done that the last day and a half. I feel like I haven't done anything, but I feel like I've done a ton, if that makes any sense. Because I want to do all these other things, but I'm still just here digging around. So I'm excited about it. My second month, and it might even trickle into the third month, depending on how fast I can move on that first 30 days with the duties that I have in mind, is just a critical period that I plan to develop a financial strategy and just analyze and take action based on all of the observations that I mentioned within the first 30 to 45 days. Again, that's auditing the existing processes, identify any urgent needs, get familiar with the staff, set the roadmap for the city and our finances, and build relationships, and also just comprehend the city's culture. So that is my plan at this point. I hope to give a more in detail roadmap on our next meeting or as we meet in the future, and I plan on updating Eric as we go and making sure that he's in alignment with the things that I plan on carrying out. And of course, working with you all and listening to your ideas and supporting each other, I think that we can do some good things and we can fix what's been broken and make what's good better and, you know, pave a good roadmap for the city finances for the future.
Absolutely, because your determination as well, and just so you know, with, you know, Councilor Salazar-Torres, Councilor Rodriguez, Councilor Martinez, myself, City Manager, directors, you are not alone. You know, working with, you know, you and the finance staff, you know, however we can help. Even, you know, you need to reach out to us, or even councilors on this committee, you know, anybody, like, you know, have any information, ideas, you know, for Ms. Moya and finance too, just, you know, however we could be able to help as well. Does anybody from the committee have any questions for Ms. Moya at this point before we move on to the next item? Okay, don't think we have anything, so very good. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Moya. It's very aggressive, and I know it's really early right now, so,
Yes, it is.
so we look forward to it. Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Okay, let's move on to our next item, which is going to be a budget update for fiscal year 2024, first quarter, which is, of course, July, August, and September. Ms. Moya, Mr. Lujan, even Ms. Baxter, if you have anything to add as well.
Mr. Chairman, being that she just hit the ground running, she hasn't been made well aware where we're at the first quarter report. So what I'd like to suggest that this report be done in a Board of Finance meeting, which consists of the mayor and the entire council, so that everybody's made aware of where we're at in the first quarter and moving forward into this, where we are now in the second quarter. With your permission, Mr. Chair and the councilors, we bumped that to a Board of Finance meeting.
Okay. So would it be a city council / Board of Finance on the 24th? Is that what we're looking at? I know that's what we've had in the past, usually like, more so like after each quarter, the following month, like July, September, August. I mean, July, August, September. In October, that's where we would have like the second meeting of the month normally, like the Board of Finance / City Council. That's something that possibly to be able to look at. And of course, that includes everybody of the governing body. Yeah, because next Tuesday is the 24th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Available because I did reach out to Joyce after, I'm sorry, because I didn't realize this was on the agenda, so I apologize for that. Otherwise, I would have obtained that from her today, but we were busy working on some other things. So it is ready. we're gonna go ahead and put the data into a finance report and use it to prepare, so I think we should be able to get that done next week.
Right, okay.
So we have council on the
believe it.
24th, right, Mr.
24th, yeah. So that's how you usually, like in the past, like would set it up. I think it's for many years since I've, been around is, that, after the quarter, we would have Board of Finance / City Council.
So the council opens up, the mayor opens up the council as regular meeting and then adjourns into, and then re-adjourns as the Board of Finance.
Right, pretty much, or vice versa, one or the other. Yeah, but it's pretty much, and then normally what I recall is it starts at 6 o'clock, just, as normal.
And that's scheduled for next week,
Yeah.
the 24th?
So we do have
Okay.
the city council, so if that would be the case, Board of Finance, we could maybe combine them into one meeting possibly.
Okay, if that's something that you would like to see, I can make it happen. I can do my best to.
Okay. Yeah,
We get that on the agenda. Okay, make sure Debbie gets that on the agenda. Okay.
okay. Yes, Councilor Rodriguez.
I was just wondering how extensive the agenda is, and if we're gonna have
Good question.
the time that we need to commit to the Board of Finance. It might behoove us to have a different day.
Okay.
That's true, that's a possibility, because I know in the past, what they would do is try to work, between the start of the month council agenda and the end of the month council agenda, so we could be able to fit that in, but because of things now, that's a possibility that, you're right, we may have to do that, depends on the length of, yeah.
And I think just because of where we are financially, and all the questions that the governing body has, it would give us that amount of time to really dig in and be able to ask those questions, and Ms. Moya to be able to respond to those questions. And I just want to add, Ms. Moya, that you've only been here 2 days, and you've done some incredible work. I really appreciate the fact that you have a plan, that you've thought this out. And I'm really impressed, so thank you.
Very true, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for giving me that extra time. Again, I would definitely reach the goal to do it, but you're right, it might give me a little bit more time to be able to be prepared for any questions that I may have.
Okay.
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
And I think just with history, of course, we could change things as need be, but I know like that month afterwards, we would have the Board of Finance / City Council, but if we need to, of course, depending on the length, and then we wouldn't have a Finance Committee because of that. But then back like November, December, like the other months, we would continue with our regular Finance Committee. But of course, just however everybody sees fit, we could work it, again, where it's most productive and, most effective as well. So,
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
okay, very good, thank you. Councilor Rodriguez, Councilor Martinez, Councilor Salazar Torres, do you have any questions or comments?
No, not at all. Thank you.
Okay,
No, sir.
yes, sir, go ahead, Councilor.
No comments here.
Oh, okay, thank you, Councilors. Councilor Rodriguez, anything else? Okay, very good, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so with regard to the fiscal year 2024 first quarter, then of course we could figure it out. Just, how we'll be able to do it, we'll need to have a standing meeting alone. As Councilor Rodriguez stated, there may be many questions, so, okay, very good. With that stated, I think that's about all we do have. So again, this meeting was just more of an introduction, just, everybody, kind of getting this initial start and, head start. And then, of course, through our city manager, through our finance director, and thank you for your comments as well, both of you. And then, of course, the plan of action. So the next meeting would be scheduled for November 21st. I think that's that Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So just anybody off the top of your head, does anybody have any issues with that date? Because it's the week of Thanksgiving, I'm sorry.
I'm okay with that. Thank you.
I'm okay with that too. And I was just thinking a little bit out loud here at home, but shouldn't the city clerk have a copy of that contract that you were looking for?
Yes, absolutely, Councilor Martinez. Yeah, but I know she's at,
Clerk's conference.
yeah, clerk's conference. So possibly, I don't know if somebody could reach out to her if she would happen to know, but yeah, I'm not too sure when she will be back, but that's a possibility, so, okay. Yeah, thank you.
That was my last person that I needed to check with, so.
Ah, okay.
What about our stenographer?
Ah, Elizabeth Martin.
Looking back at the meetings and when we could project when that took place.
Ah,
I'll bet you she probably has it up here. I would ask her.
okay. Very good.
Also, Emma, well, thank you, Emma.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so we will tentatively have our Finance Committee meeting for November 21st, but if anybody has any, as it's upcoming, due to the holiday, if anybody has any concerns with that, we could look at possibly changing it to another date in November if that does happen to arise. But with that stated, I think that's all we have. So I would like to adjourn this meeting at 6:44. Thank you all for attending, and I hope everybody has a great evening, and thank you all.
Chair, if I may, real quick, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I just wanted to go on the record just to thank Counselor Benavides as well for her service and her time on this board. She was on there for a good 6 years. So I want to thank her for her time and effort and commitment. You know, being a public servant can be a little taxing, but thank her for her service for the last 6 years on this committee. Thank you.
yes, absolutely. Yes, thank you to Counselor Benavides for her time on the committee. And then as well, you know, now